This morning, the Electoral Commission says it can be sued if it goes ahead to use the Ghana card as sole document for voter registration. We'll be bringing you a conversation on the back of that.
Seek interpretation on the actions of the EC and whether it conforms to the rules of the land, or even other private citizens or political parties can take the EC to court.
We'll hear from a political scientist on the legal interpretation. Also, experts tell President Akufo-Addo he cannot select results by rating agencies to suit economic status of Ghana and other African countries.
So I think that's the problem that the president has, because you cannot accept, when they are using the same criteria, you cannot accept the praise and then refuse the criticism.
Also in the bulletin, former Attorney General Joseph Pemka says Big C Trading LLC lacks locus to determine cause of case involving minority leader over some ambulance purchases. We have details of these stories and a lot more coming to you shortly. Please stay with us. Let's get into the details of the stories. Now, we're beginning this morning with news from the outfit of the embattled former Asin North lawmaker James Gyakye Quayson. Now, the National Democratic Congress parliamentary candidate for Asin North, James Gyakye Quayson, has applied to the High Court to review its order that he must appear in court every day for the hearing of his trial. He's expected to be in court on Tuesday, June 20, 2023, as his lawyer, Chachu Chikata, moves the motion. Now, the High Court had earlier ruled that the trial of James Quayson, who is facing charges of perjury and forgery, it must be heard every day beginning on Tuesday, June 20, 2023. The court turned down a request by James Gyakye Quayson's lawyer to have the trial continue after the Asin North by-election, which is scheduled for June 27. Quayson, who was elected to represent the Asin North constituency in the 2020 general election, was kicked out of Parliament after the Supreme Court directed Parliament to expunge his name from its records. He was dragged to court for allegedly holding dual citizenship. The state has filed criminal charges against him. Now, flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, meanwhile, has criticized the High Court decision to hear James Gyakye Quayson's trial every day. We're still staying from the outfit of the Electoral Commission, because the head of the Department of Political Science at the University of Ghana, Professor Alidu Seidu, says Parliament or any individual or groups can take the Electoral Commission to court if the EC still wants to go ahead to use the Ghana card as the sole document for voter registration and voting in the country. In an interview, he said he agrees the use of the Ghana card as a sole document would disenfranchise a lot of Ghanaians in the 2024 elections. There's more in this report.
The Electoral Commission in February 2023 introduced a constitutional instrument which, among others, will make the Ghana card the sole document to register persons onto the electoral roll for the 2024 elections. But on March 31, Parliament directed the election management body to include the guarantor system and open more registration centres. The House, particularly the minority, still stands by its position. Professor Alidu Seidu says there are other means by which Parliament can use if the EC fails to adhere to its proposal.
Constitutionally, the Parliament can also decide to take the EC to court and seek interpretation on the actions of the EC and whether it conforms to the rules of the land, or even other private citizens or political parties can take the EC to court if they believe that that particular position will not inure to the benefit of the country, if it doesn't fall in line or align completely with our constitutional provisions, especially the right to vote and be voted for.
You heard the head of the Political Science Department at the University of Ghana, Dr. Alidu Seidu speaking there, Professor Alidu Seidu speaking there. Now to some other stories, and some players in the financial sector say President Akufo-Addo cannot pick and choose rating results that suit him over unfavorable ones. President Akufo-Addo at the opening of the 30th Afro-Exim Bank Conference described the rating agency's result as unfair and reckless downgrading of developing countries like Ghana and some other African countries during the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russian-Ukraine war. But a senior lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Patrick Assuming, says the president cannot pick and choose what he wants.
So there's that general sense that, perhaps the international financial architecture is biased against poor countries. I think the challenge with the president's position is that, when at the time that the same rating agencies have upgraded you and you've used that as a sign that you are managing your economy well, you can't turn around when the same criteria, the same institutions are downgrading you.
Dr. Patrick Assuming speaking there. Now, according to the Dean of the University of Cape Coast Business School, Professor John Gachi, the ratings are a reflection of the current status of the country. He's advised government to seek a second opinion from other agencies if they feel right.
Ghana has been going through a period of credit deterioration that warranted the downgrade. So the downgrade is not an aggression on Ghana. The downgrade is not a target activity against Ghana. The downgrade is assessing the economic management outcomes and indicating that the economic management outcome does not support our ability or capability to repay our loan.
Professor John Gachi is the Dean of the University of Cape Coast Business School speaking there. Now, away from that, former Attorney General Joseph Kpemka says Big C Trading LLC lacks the locus to write to the Attorney General to propose a refund of monies for the purchase of some ambulances. The said company is a private company that supplied the ambulances for which the minority leader Dr. Case Latoforsing is standing trial. Now, Big C Trading LLC has thus asked for the return of the 30 ambulances, saying it is willing to refund the over €2 million paid to them. But the former Attorney General says the proposal is not legal.
The particular one you're talking about is a novel situation. Novel because this is a situation where the party that is standing trial is not the one admitting guilt, but a third party comes in to say that if he is standing trial for causing financial loss to the state to a particular amount, I, as a third party, am ready to pay the said amount in order for the case to end. Strictly speaking, the third party, if it is not on trial, cannot enter a plea of guilty on behalf of a person who is on trial.
You hear the voice of a former Attorney General Joseph Kpemka speaking there. Now, moving away to some issues concerning security, and security analyst Adib Sani has expressed concern about what he describes as an ad hoc approach to dealing with the influx of refugees in the country. The large number of asylum seekers has put pressure on food and shelter in the areas where the refugees have settled, a source of worry for the local people. Now, some sleep in the open, especially during the day, due to the unavailability of homes to accommodate them. Adib Sani says government should develop a roadmap for a comprehensive approach to ensuring safety of food and security.
All right, so the approach or the response to the influx has been so disorganized and so confused in a manner that presupposes we are not expecting them and we've been taken by surprise. But the thing is, and the problem is, by the time when they enter Ghana, by the time relief agencies get to them, a lot of them might have moved towards the southern area or might have moved in with relatives in the area. So I think we need to put the right mechanisms on the ground so at any time they come in, we'll be prepared to receive them.
Adib Sani is a security analyst there. Now, still on issues concerning security, the Eastern Regional Police Command has commenced investigations into the death of a 74-year-old Nigerian woman at Ayebashia Beposu, a suburb of Achinkwaman in the Kwabibre municipality of the region. The deceased, identified simply as Ma Pat, is a well-known Nigerian living in the area and works as a laborer. Information gathered indicates that the woman was reported missing last Thursday on June 15 and was found on Sunday, June the 18th. Before we go, let's bring you some news on politics as Dr. Kofi Konadu-Apraku, New Patriotic Party flag bearer hopeful, has finally returned and completed nomination forms after being asked by the party's elections committee to update his forms. Dr. Apraku, after visiting the party's headquarters on Monday, June 19, to submit his forms, was instructed to complete his document and resubmit same to the elections committee of the party. Now, scrutiny of the elections committee earlier revealed that the forms had not been filled completely. However, members of the team revealed that certain documents such as the CV and personal contributions to the party were not included in the nomination documents submitted. So far, 5 individuals contesting to be flag bearers of the New Patriotic Party have submitted their forms. We understand that 6 are yet to submit the forms to contest to lead the party going into the 2024 general elections. That's how we wrap up on the morning news here on 3FM 92.7. My name is Noble Crosby Annan. There's more news on our website, 3news.com. Please log on to that website. Good morning.